My name is Michael. I'm an associate at Station 3510, do a lot of the work that's required within the space to bring all this nice stuff to you. We're gonna get started. Like Jared said, everybody say one thing about yourself, your name, introduce yourself, and then speak about something, one of your art pieces, all right?
Hello, everyone. My name is DeVante Capers. I'm a multimedia artist in Prince George's County, diagnosed with autism, and part of my journey is to inspire artists with disabilities and try to make them showcase their work and tell their stories with the community. One of my pieces I have is a twist of street culture. It's on wood. That piece is inspired by G. Michael Basquiat, who is an artist back, he was a street artist from New York. He expressed himself through art during Expressionism. And I studied his work throughout the years, even studied his work at Prince George's Community College, where I studied visual arts and got a associate's degree in that. So his art kind of inspired me to really create something original and bring something more unique and special. And I'm very proud of being here and just sharing my work with everybody. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charity Coleman-Harrison, and these are my two pieces here. This is Southwest Landscape 1 and Southwest Landscape 2. They are a part of a larger series called American Landscapes. I painted them for basically my love of color and also my love of nature. Growing up, I wasn't really an outside girl. I was mostly just in the house painting. And then as I got older and I met my husband, we started kayaking and biking, and I'm gardening now. And so this is just like, it just brings me so much peace. And so I'm painting my happiness, basically. And I love color. I'm also a graphic designer, so this is a new style for me. I usually paint really loose and abstract. So this is more of a geometric, abstract style that I really appreciate, and I'm going to continue to make some pieces in this style. That's about it.
Hi, my name is Azyra Franklin. My piece is called By Faith. It's that purple one over there. I did it specifically for this art show. It kind of gave me a project to do after my first semester at college. So I kind of just came up with the concept late at night. My brain was like, never did this before, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And that's it.
Hey everybody, my name is Tone Butta. I am a street pop art and graffiti artist. So my piece is the Wolverine in the back. That piece matters a lot to me. Me and my father and my brother watched X-Men growing up all the time, to the point where even when X-Men 97 came out, me and him FaceTimed each other and watched the new episodes together. The X-Men Wolverine is that's one of my favorite characters. I love spray paint, like that graffiti style. So that's what inspired my piece. My love overall for street art, and then also my love for my time with my father. So that's an ode to him.
Hey everyone, my name is Bezzy. My piece is the piece next to Wolverine. I don't know, the name of the piece is called It Means Everything, and it just has a lot of affirmations in it, stuff I feel like I need other people could possibly connect to. My actual to-do list is on that painting. And so I do abstract art, expressionism. I like to collage pieces, and work with a lot of different colors.
All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Joee Spacey, and my piece is right here, this art piece. That's basically kind of like one of the bags I get into. It's not really my style, per se. I'll get into like spray paint, acrylic paint, and oil pastel, which are all on the canvas, but it's kind of like my ode to art. Like, it's me saying that art is forever, that art enables love. It basically is a part of your legacy. It's a way for you to connect, enable middle ground, and, you know, just to go ahead and communicate your experiences with whoever sees your work. You're always going to be, you know, reaching a different audience. So that one was just kind of me, like, playing around in front of, like, you know, with, like, a different medium and just being like, hey, this is what I think about art. So, yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Handirubvi Herring, and my piece is this one. It's entitled Free. So I have two different artistic styles. I have one that's more on the serious side, and then another one that's more playful and inspired by music. So I really like the artist Matty Clairween. He did a lot of like Miles Davis's artwork in the 70s, but I also like illustrators like Leo and Diane Dillon. And so pretty much I like to think about storytelling. If it's not personal, then I'm doing things like this that is inspired by music. And so Free is about what would women be doing if they had no obligations. And I was thinking about that they would just be frolicking somewhere in the sun. So just pure joy and no worry and no stress. That's it.
And I'm Jaden Roulette. I'm not even from here. I lived in Kansas City and I'm raised in Kansas City, but recently moved out here, probably, I want to say February, end of February. But if you look back at the piece, the green and yellow piece, that one's mine. And it's strictly acrylic marker on canvas. And I like to be motivated by my own imagination. So the way I work is, obviously have a blank canvas, and you just freestyle. And however it comes out, it comes out. The name of the title is World of the Jungle. And I like to call myself a creator. I'm just a creator in general, so.
Thank you all for those words. So I just want to say a few words, and then we can see if anyone has any questions, because I can ask questions all night about art, to be honest. So a lot of people start with structure. Some artists start with just feelings, but ultimately you get to that end point where you finally put a title on it. Does anybody else have any questions they want to ask an artist or possibly ask the room? There we go.
I gotta push a button or anything? No, just right into it. My question is, and any one of you guys can take this, how long does it take for you to think of what you want to work on? Or what, you know, how does it come to your mind on what, you know, what kind of piece you want to do?
Who wants to take that one?
All right, so remember in the Avengers when the Hulk was like, how do you not get angry? And he was like, I'm always angry. I'm always thinking. So I have more ideas in my head that have come out. So like I have a whole another series I'm working on right now, like piecing it up and putting it together in my head. So like whatever I've already made or whatever I'm working on is probably an idea that's like 6 months old that I finally got to.
Sorry, Bezzy, I gotta dap him up on that one. All right, so I would say I listen to music all the time. So when I'm like living life and I'm driving through, or I might have got pissed off in a conversation, and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna take that out on the canvas. I'm about to go home, spray paint right now. Or I'll just be, you kind of see colors or like shapes when you're living life, and then when you finally get to that canvas, you're like, yeah, this is kind of already fell in my lap. Not really anything to ponder about. Let's just go ahead and get the job done.
I did want to add to what they were saying. It's quite funny because I know some people think that artists are a little bit awkward. And it's because we're in a different space in our mind. Like, we hear you, but we also have a million things running through our heads. Just like they said, you know, like we listen to music and, oh my gosh, this will be great to think about this title and, you know, what I can do with the painting. So we see colors, we hear, like some of us can hear color through music. So we're here, but we're also somewhere else.
Facts.
I'll speak a little bit about my process. So for me, I start with color, but it's more of a feeling. So I'll, go on some website to find different color swatches. Because again, going back to me being a graphic designer. So I find different color swatches and I look at how these colors interact together and what kind of feeling I get from that. And then everything else is just kind of whatever comes to mind. But if I'm starting with any of my pieces, it always comes back to color and feeling. Like with these, I knew I wanted to represent the American Southwest, and so I was thinking what colors come to mind with that, and then how do I feel? I've never been there, but the images that I've seen on TV or, from other people going, like it makes me feel a certain way. And so I just kind of try to match up those colors and those feelings, and I just go from there.
For me, I want to say is actually probably the opposite. I try not to think at all. So before I even start, I don't know what's gonna come out. I don't have anything planned. I kind of just like tap into my own imagination, put trust into my own imagination, and not believe in the mistakes. And then whatever comes out is what it comes out. And then I'll create a title, and it's actually kind of hard to explain. I think a lot of it is in my subconscious, because like as I'm working, it kind of like comes together on its own. It's hard to explain, but I'm like the opposite. I try not to think at all.
Thank you. I would say one more thing, I'm gonna pass it to you. There's different artists I'm learning. Some artists start from case studies. They have countless notebooks where they're studying. Raquel in the back, Raquel McMullins has a notebook where she studies hours before she starts a piece. And then you have people who just start from the heart. I think that's pretty interesting.
One more question. First of all, that's my son right there. And this question is for you, and everybody else can follow if they like. KJ, how do you deal with criticism? I'll give you an example. I got a lot of my own artistry in me. I make clothes and things, and I made a sweatsuit one year, bright yellow. And the kids saw me jogging in it and said, "Look at the big banana run." I took that as criticism in a way, but it inspired me to keep going because it was different. It was different in a way that I knew nobody could go in the store and buy it or anything like that. How do you deal with criticism, KJ?
I do and I don't. Like, I'll take it. I don't have to use it. I'll take it as just like a helpful suggestion. But ultimately, I am one of those artists who move off emotion. So because you might have an idea for something, that's great, I'll receive it. But if I feel something and that's what I articulated in this piece, then that's what it is. I didn't go to art school. I'm self-taught. And every time I do an exhibition, every time I have a show, every time I sell a piece, it's kind of like my rebellious, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, there is no blueprint to this. Like, you don't have to do it this way. You don't have to, I don't gotta look like you, I don't have to talk like you, I don't have to present it like you. I take that suggestion and I move with it, and I'm like, all right, either I move on or I don't. So.
Honestly, yeah, for a long time, I was like, I took it hard because my ideas are just like, they all went in my head. So it's like, I didn't get it out the way the reception I had in mind around the like dopeness of the idea wasn't executed. And that's how it was when I first started. But now I realize who matters and where to go to present my art, to create an environment where it's not only affirming, but also I get to feel the pulse of the people who connect with my art the most. So like, I'm not gonna go into a space where there's like heavy African sculptures and there's fine art all the time. Because I know my people who love my art is for the community, feeling the vibrancy of the streets, feeling the like just the flow of like being in the city. So like the inner city is where I grew up, is where I work. It's my life. So that's they matter more to me. The community matters more to me than like certain galleries or certain spaces that don't align or affirm or even want to be in the spaces with the type of people I like to be around.
So for me, criticism, I'll take it sometimes because one, I know my art isn't for everybody. And so like, if it's, hey, your technique could be better, then yeah, I'll take the advice. But sometimes the criticism is just insults. And so that I'll just like take it with a grain of salt and walk away.
Guy in blue, I think, had a question as well.
So the question for two people who said that what they presented here is not what they normally do, and that's Azyra and KJ. So I just have a question about how can you explain what you normally do when you're, not your normal process, but just what the artwork is like other than what you presented here today?
Does it help if I just say it? Okay, because I didn't want the microphone to have to, or whatever. All right, so cool. All right, it's all good. We family. All right, so recently I fell in love with like oil pastel. So now my pieces are more, like I'm working on a series, it's like color blocking. And it's like a big expression in the middle of the piece of the canvas. But because I'm self-taught, I don't really have a style. It's going to look different every time I make something new. Like, I also do visuals. So it's like I don't really hold myself to one medium of work. I could draw something out, then I'll just like kind of fill in the background after that initial piece, and it's gonna be like just super colorful. I spray paint a lot because I come from tagging, and I do like graffiti also. So it looks different every time I do something, and that's kind of also like me being rebellious and just being like, you never know what box to put me in because you can't box me in. It's gonna look different every time. This show gonna look different from another show. So, yep.
So I'm kind of the same way. I do a lot of different forms of art. I do digital, I paint, I draw. I do digital when I don't have time to paint or draw for the most part. And I'm also self-taught up until this point, so my artwork does look pretty different each time. Like there is a few things that are distinct with my art style, but it does look pretty different.
This is a question for each of you. How has your style evolved from when you first started to where you find yourself now?
I'm mobile now.
All right, so for me, in terms of art, in high school, I did a lot of photography and graphic design. But I never wanted to put myself in a box. So I've tried graphite, charcoal, screen printing, block printing, marker. There's a lot, but it was so I was in college for a little bit for graphic design. Then I stopped going. I found out, once I dropped out, I found out that's when I gained my creative spark and I started to be more hands-on. And that's how I found my style. So I told myself, I have this blank canvas in front of me. I'm just gonna create without thought, and whatever comes out is what comes out. And then over time, I kind of gradually developed my style to where it's distinctive enough to where when you see it, you know I did it, because it comes strictly from my own imagination. So you can't create it, you can't recreate it, and that's just what I've been doing ever since. I'm proud of it. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
For myself, I came from a country, I'm from Zimbabwe, and my country is like very artistic, but we don't have a word for art in Zimbabwe. So for me, I feel like it was embedded in my culture, but also I think of like African American culture. We're very artistic people, whether it's rhythm and dance or like, you know, how we visually kind of communicate, or anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent. But so I started off as a photojournalist major. I thought I was going to be a photographer. So that's what I went to school for. And the school that I went to, you had to know how to do film. And I was only a digital person, self-taught. And so I was struggling, but I was like, but I can draw. I've drawn my whole life. And so my strength is in drawing, usually with pencil, but mostly in ballpoint pens, because that's the only resource that I had. But moving forward and going to school, I started dabbling in different things. So at the time, I had only been painting for a year. Now I've been painting for maybe, 6 years? But my strength is in drawing. That's where I'm more comfortable, or finding like found resources and objects and putting them together, doing sculptural work. So I feel like as artists, like we can't put ourselves in a box like everyone has been mentioning, because we're still investigating and experimenting with resources. So I guess it's like the concept stays the same, or the idea may stay the same, or our style may stay the same, but we dabble in different types of, materials.
I like that. So I feel like for me, one day I came home and I was like, I'm really trying to I'll say crack my brain open. Like I was trying to figure out how to free my brain from whatever rules that was taught to me within, because I used to work at art galleries, and a lot of times it's it looks good, but it's soulless. It doesn't have a real feeling behind it. It's just something that they know will sell. So I always try to aim to lock into a zone that's gonna make me the most free, and it's gonna make me not think about what feeling I'm feeling, just show you what I was feeling when I make my piece. So that's pretty much it for me.
I think, my art, when I first started, painting, it probably just had, less detail. It hasn't changed a lot. Always used a lot of colors. But, when I first started painting, in 2020, I was, really inspired by, Basquiat as well. So I used to do, the 3-point crowns a lot. But I wanted to be able to, have, my own, distinct, art style. So I started doing, beanies. So, if anybody knows my art or sees my art, they'll see the beanies, they'll see a lot of eyes. So it's recognizable. It's a very distinct look. And so I think mostly it's just evolved by me just trying to figure out my own voice in this abstract expressionism realm. So yeah, that's it.
I have this strong gene called F it. So I just see stuff that I want to do, and I'm just gonna go do it. So like in college, like I did a lot of paddles for my fraternity. I painted my car. I started off painting sneakers. To now, like I finally figured out my own like character. Like I think that was big for me because graffiti was huge. Like finding your own character, finding your own way of tagging, the name that you align with. And so like a lot of my backgrounds do look similar to Wolverine, but then my character Geo has become an embodiment of who I am and how I like navigate the world. So like I'll go from canvas art to behind Brit. I have my own Geo toys, which are like my own designer luxury toys. So I like to dabble in a little bit of everything. And now I think I finally figured out what my main character is, but I'm always doing something different. Anything that inspires me or anything that is around like fatherhood right now has been big because me and my wife just had a baby this year. So it's been, being a dad has been like major. Like I have two kids now, 2 baby girls. And it's just so, I never realized how much emotions come out when you have girls. I'm just like, why is everything so emotional? But like now, like I said, like my Geo character is my staple character, 1 square eye, 1 round eye, but I will always continue to like grow. And like now, right now, fatherhood and putting that all together is big for me.
So I kind of like experiment with a lot of things. I've experimented with pens, markers, colored pencils, charcoal. Found out I hate charcoal. And digital. So like I'm honestly still experimenting with my art style. I'm always tweaking it, and I still haven't like completely figured it out.
I also did a lot of different things. I went to art school, and they kind of forced us to do a bunch of different things, whether it's drawing or even photography or sculpture. So I think just trying out a lot of things helped me realize what I do like. And so right now, the 3 things that I'm most passionate about are painting, ceramic art, and graphic design. And so I would say some of it is also impatience. Certain things that I end up picking or choosing was just based off of like the resources that I had, or just the time as a resource. And so, certain art you can, only do with certain resources. And so, I just kind of picked what worked best for me and my schedule and my family and, my lifestyle, because I like to do a lot of different things. So, yeah.
Art has really changed my life. Somebody with a disability who goes through depression yearly, been to therapy for 15 years, just trying to overcome so much in my life and just feel like an outsider to society because I see the whole world in black and white and gray. So I just use art as an outlet to try to tell my story through art, and hopefully try to connect with people, because it's like the saying goes, a picture can say 1,000 words. So I'm basically just trying to express how I feel, what I think through art, from photography, dance, writing, painting, drawing, graphics. I mean, everything. It's my future. It's my everything. I have no plan B, C. It's only planning A, which is art. And, I see art as a superpower, just like autism. I use it for good, for giving back, for it's just inspiring people, and just I feel like it gives me growth to be a better artist and a better person, knowing that I am making a difference. And I want to continue this journey forever and just always be myself. That's the goal for me. Just always be myself and just be my own leader, and others will follow.
I originally started with landscape paintings, and I told myself for a really long time and told everybody, I'm never gonna paint any portraits. That's way too scary to attempt. But after a while, I tried it, and that's what I love to do now. And the painting that I have here today, it's one of the first ones that really defined my artistic style, so that one's really special to me. Because for a long time I was like, I'm just kind of doing this, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just kind of figuring it out along the way, and that one really solidified it for me. And my artwork, I just love doing portraits because I like to find different ways of expressing different emotions, and they're all pretty personal to me and my own experience, and having the vibrant colors and flowers and plants just adds a nice spark to it and makes it feel a little bit peaceful too at the same time when it's expressing something maybe a little bit more serious or scary or anything like that. So it's changed a lot over the last couple of years, but this one was a really personal one for me because it set who I am as an artist and helped me to figure it out while also showcasing it with other people so that they can understand what I'm doing too. I'm sorry, because I was late. My name is Rochelle, and my piece, Flora, is the one in the back here, the portrait with all the flowers.
Oh, hi guys, I'm Ty. My piece is the yarn in the back. Okay, so I'm nervous. I do not like none of this. I know, but it is people here. I started doing art about 2 years ago. I would say once graduating high school, I joined the Army. After that, I worked for the Department of Homeland Security, and I never had time to express or space and opportunity to express myself and, just be me, right? And I started off customizing shoes, and I love doing cartoons. I don't know who don't like watching cartoons. I don't care. Judge your mama. I'm 29. I still watch cartoons. But I think doing art helps healing the inner child. So for me, it's healing. And it allows me to express myself. That piece right there, I was feeling a lot of different things, and I don't know. I'm so nervous. That's all I can say. You sure can.
So immediately, I inquire, do the colors have any meaning?
I'm a colorful being.
Okay.
No matter what I go through, and it's called anxiety, because during the time of my life, I had a lot going on, and I was nervous. As far as Trump and him being in office and my job, being a threat, or, I might lose my job behind it. So me still being who I am, I'll always remain colorful no matter what's going on. I'm always a happy person. I'm always upbeat. And so that explains the colors. But the yarn, perhaps, is just expressing that a scattered brain. My mind is doing a lot of things. And it covers the eyes, because when you're anxious, you don't make, I guess, good choices, rational choices. And when you have anxiety, I don't know about anyone else, but it feels like it chokes me, it suffocates me. And my brain is all over the place. So that's the explanation for that piece. And I started out drawing cartoons, and I've been recently trying to learn how to do portraits. And for the most part, I'm a texture type of person, so most of my pieces revolve around yarn.
Okay, thank you. Kristyn?
Hi, everybody. Hey, y'all. I'm like Ty. I'm a little nervous. I'm not a speaker at all. But my name is Kristyn Alexis. My painting is the unseen painting, the colorful, faceless painting. I'm from DC. I've been painting, I've been drawing since I was little. It's kind of just a gift that always has followed me, and it just keeps coming back, and that's what led me here. And what else am I supposed to say? I'm sorry, I'm just really nervous. So this piece was inspired by, I did a series of men's mental health last year. So that's what was inspired about this piece. It is a man, it's supposed to be a man, and how we say like men are supposed to suppress their emotions and stuff like that. That's why he's faceless, because he wears his emotions, and that's all you see. But yeah, thank you.
Here we go.
This question's for any of you. Do any of you ever experience an artist block? And how do you overcome it?
That is a great question. So in 2019, I had my son, and being a mom, you know, you have other responsibilities. And at that time, I noticed that what left me was not only like, I started having mommy brain, but I could not think of anything to make work about. But it was also the fact that my priorities had changed. So there wasn't time for me to be like, oh, maybe today I'm just gonna sit in front of my canvas and think about this. So I was struggling, I didn't have anything. But when I didn't have anything, as far as art making, I would write. So I wouldn't say it was an artist block, maybe like, I don't know how to explain it, but I was still writing or thinking, I just wasn't producing the work. And this is the first year after not making work that I started, you know, showing again or being productive with art making.
I think when I experience artist block, I respect my process. Like sometimes I can't force it. Like you mess around and go through like a lot of canvases just trying to figure it out, and it's like that wasn't anything. So I feel like you do have to rely on like other ideas. I may do a visual, I may do like a graphic tee. Tone and I do toys, we separate, but like toys is like another thing for you to like venture out in. Most of us do graphic design. I also do graphic design. So you also gotta live life. Like you gotta go do stuff, get outside. Like I like to be outside, going for walks. I love concerts, whatever. Like whatever your interests are, you gotta like recalibrate and like figure out, all right, well, what inspires me? Like what gets my creative juices going? Go do something different. Go cook. Go talk to your friend, go do something, and then boom. All right, I got that idea. So.
For me, I just start creating things that are familiar. So, like I said, I also too love cartoons. So I'll make like a random cartoon that no one remembers, like SWAT Cats or Street Sharks or Fillmore, right? I'll just draw them, and like that's where it feels safe. That's where life was calm and relaxing. That was a time in my life I didn't have bills and responsibilities, so I reached back into my childhood. And I recently just bought the original Xbox. I've been playing like NBA Streets Volume 2 and Need for Speed like a teenager all over again, just to kind of get myself back into that playful space. And it helps just to kind of recalibrate everything and starts to push it back to where it needs to be. Put the train back on the tracks.
Appreciate it. For me, artist block is not real. it's a myth, I think. I feel like when you go within yourself, you're able to create anything from nothing. I found myself having artist block before I believed it was not real. Was me trying to find outside sources in order to create. Instead, I went internal, and then that's when you find you can make anything anytime. Artist block comes from trying to force it. And once you realize when you come from within, you can create anything. It kind of just goes away, in a sense. It takes a while to develop that. Like for me, it took years, but once you have it, you already get to a point to where you can just make whenever you want to, like, and you won't have a problem with, like me. I can go 3 months without making anything and feel okay, because I'm not forcing it. Yeah, and that's what I believe. It's not real.
I just want to add, I think that was really brilliant how you said that, because the moment I start like thinking about what I should be making, it came innately, but also I didn't have postpartum depression anymore. So, that helped too, where you don't have to like, if you just let yourself like think within yourself, it doesn't become something that's trumping you, because you're not thinking about, oh, what can I do that's gonna sell? Or, oh, what can I do for somebody to like this? It's what you feel and how you feel about the work.
Ooh, can I say one more thing? Sorry. I know this was the longest one, but it's real. All right. I agree with that. So sometimes I feel like for me, I gotta like I said, go to like a different medium. Like I might need to make a video. I don't need to paint today. Or I may need to go design a new toy, or I may need to go do something for a shirt. Like I might not need to focus on this one thing. That's why it's not clicking. Like I'm forcing this idea on a canvas. It probably doesn't need to be a canvas. This probably need to be a sticker real quick, or like, something else. But just that thing that I'm trying to like, I need this to be a painting. It's like, no, it doesn't need to be a painting. Like, go outside and shoot some photos, or like get some videos for like an experience for other people. So yeah, I agree with that. It can be you forcing it. So.
I don't want to like excuse the fact that it's not real, because it is real. But I'm saying when you like shift your perspective on creating anything, that's why I say it's not real. But once you like shift it over, you'll understand. That's yeah.
When I have art block, I do graffiti because it's random and it doesn't need to be precise or anything, and it can just be whatever you want. And I'll do graffiti in my sketchbook or on a canvas or on a pair of shoes, but it helps because, like I said, it's random and chaotic and messy.
I think we have one in the back and then right here. I just want to speak to what we just spoke about. A lot of artists work on multiple pieces at a time just to help with that shift of perspective, so that something from this piece that you weren't thinking about 20 minutes ago, now you can use on the last piece that you started maybe a month ago, because it just sparked something within you. So I think I'm gonna go here first and then here.
Hello, this is for all the artists on stage. Sometimes artists are multi-talented, so I just wanted to know, do you guys operate in any other talents besides painting? And if so, what that will be? What is that?
So in general, you just mean like other things you're good at and you enjoy doing?
Because artists are multi-talented, are you talented in other areas besides painting and
Oh yeah. I randomly know how to mix music. And also like I'm like a certified graphic designer. So like graphic design is annoying to me personally. I don't have the patience for it. So now I only do graphic design when I have to. So say for like I design my packaging. So that's like about my extent of my patience for graphic design. But yeah, like I feel like it's important for you to be able to like maneuver into like different fields just in case that's how you avoid burnout. Like if you feel like you can like move around different things effortlessly, you like, that enables longevity for you. So, yes, ma'am.
So I don't know the specific word for it, but when I was a kid, I used to play what I would hear off of the piano. So my grandparents had a piano, and then like any tune, I could play it. So I had some experience playing the piano. But I do have a singing voice. I don't use it, but I also play the traps, but also djembe. Anything artistically artsy, I can do. As a kid as well, I think for about 10 years, my best friend's back there. How many years did we dance? About like 15 years? Yeah, so experience in dancing. So it's hard for me to like share all of this stuff because it sounds luxurious, but I think of art as one category, or creativity. So I just do things that make me feel good. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I was gonna say. I do feel like most artists are multi-talented, but I also feel like sometimes that doesn't matter at all. Because I feel like you should use your talent to transfer that over to skill. Because skill is greater than talent. And it's even better when you combine both. And I've experienced that with myself, but I'm still learning to do the combine both. But yeah, I prefer skill over talent. Talent is cool, but yeah.
That's my son.
Oh, you could be a motivational speaker as well, I think. Put that on your list.
Yeah, I like all through like my 20s, like when I was a teenager, I was like a filmmaker. Like if you asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, I'd tell you filmmaking. So I spent like a good portion, I went to college for it, good portion of my 20s making films. And so, yeah, the painting is like, it's not random because I've always been kind of artistic. But yeah, I still write screenplays. I always got a screenplay in the draft, so yeah.
BC's also not telling everything. I bought this necklace from her 10 years ago. I've been all around the world with this necklace, and it's the thing I wear every day, so shout out BC. When I was a kid, I played trombone. I loved the trombone until like that last year when my teacher like got to do too much. But I 3D print, right? I use the 3D print to make art, but I love to just 3D print. So like I'm one of those people that has like the random gadgets around the house. I have a very active 9-year-old daughter who likes to jump and climb on things. So anytime she breaks something, it's okay because I can just fix it and replace it. I haven't bought a toilet roll holder in about 3 years, as many as she's broken. But I love to use my hands. So like I work on my cars, I work on the 3D print, I do woodworking, I love resin, as you probably can tell by my piece. I just love to touch stuff, I'm tactile. So yeah, I don't know, like I said, I got a gene of effort, so I'm just gonna do whatever I wanna do.
So I'm a cyclist. I race bikes, and I design race kits for people. So, yeah.
A really good cyclist, too.
For me, I think I do more painting. I do like drawing, dance, graphic design, writing, collages. Like I do any type of art, and it's hard to pick my favorite art because it's in my blood. is who I am. I don't have no favorite art. I love all art. And I think it's kind of so difficult to try to ask that question because it's like, I love all my artwork. I don't have no favorite because everything I do is filled with love. It's filled with, respect, and I treat art like it's a living thing, like a human being. Show some respect and love, and be there to death to you as part.
For me, it's mostly other creative and artistic endeavors. I grew up in dance, competitive dance, so I've done that for like all of my life, and I started teaching dance a couple years ago, so I do that. And I feel like this would count, but I do a lot of decorating for events and parties, mostly for my family, because I don't know, I can't make that a professional thing right now, but I've decorated for my sister's weddings, bachelorette parties, bridal showers, birthday parties, things like that. That's one of my favorite things to do aside from art, and yeah.
So I'm a makeup artist. I also do makeup. So I gotta kind of feel it's kind of like a glam and gore. So I've done brides and wedding parties, but I also do special effects makeup. So come Halloween time, when people want to, look scary and stuff like that, that's like my thing. I really, really like that. So a special effects makeup, I would say.
Hi again. I could say it's not a lost art, but I don't do it anymore and I don't practice. But I used to be a percussionist. I started in elementary school, concert band, marching band, orchestra band, all the way up until the 12th grade. And I learned how to read music. And now I no longer do that at all, actually. One of the things I could say that I'm good at that is aside from art, which might sound a little crazy, but I shoot weapons. I am a sharpshooter, bullseye shooter. I teach people how to shoot. The youngest I've taught how to shoot was maybe 10. And just practicing gun safety and just everything, shooting with 90% accuracy.
Wow, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. This may be our last question. I'm not sure.
So I've always loved looking at creative sketchbooks. I feel like it's an honor to look at it and just kind of see the insight and the process that the artist goes through. Can you all elaborate a little bit on how important your sketchbook is to you, or if you use them or don't use them at all?
Yeah, sure.
Like I said, I told you guys I work for the government, and my sketchbook has saved me multiple times because I cannot use my cell phone. So that's another escape from reality. And I guess I could say it helped me improve my skill set as far as practicing portraits, because I wound up over the past year and a half that I've been practicing that, that medium. I guess I could say I drew over 100 people at my job, and I just handed it out to them from my sketchbook. So to me, my sketchbook means everything.
So I don't have a sketchbook. I don't sketch. I'm more of a go with the flow type artist. I have so many canvases that I done painted over because sometimes I wasn't feeling it anymore, or I'm just like, hey, I was inspired by something else. But yeah, I don't have a sketchbook.
I use my sketchbook a lot, just to sketch ideas, come up with some ideas to put on for future projects. I see the sketchbook as like a Bible. I sketch up my ideas, my notes, my thoughts. It's like a journal. I take with me every day, try to like write anything was going on in my life, in my days, try to sketch something that, just to pass the time, just to, have some fun, and it's like, I keep it, it's like after the sketchbook is done, I move on to another one. It's like you're writing a book. You create like a franchise. Like, you write one sketchbooks to another. Once it's full, you keep on, you get a new one, you fill up again. It's just like the more sketchbooks you fill, the more your creativity explores and more the stories are being shared through that book.
I also don't use a sketchbook. I've tried. I tried sketching it out on the computer, on paper. It doesn't really matter. It's not very helpful for me. I'd rather just go with the flow as well. It's just, it's the easiest thing.
I use my sketchbook for pretty much everything. It's really random. Like, you'll flip through one page and you'll see a masterpiece, and then you'll flip to the next page and it's like, what am I looking at? And then you flip to the next page and it's like my math homework. So it's like my sketchbook is really random, and I use it for like everything.
I use a sketchbook a lot. I'm a doodler. That's how I stay focused at work, at home. Like, we're in a meeting for like past 45 minutes, dog. I'm probably drawing something. But it's not for public consumption. I'm very private with my sketchbook. I think the only person who's seen it is my daughter. My wife can't even look at my sketchbook. It's like my own journal. Now I'm just like, I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about mine. You know what I mean? And I like to, what I show the world is what I like to give the world. I keep a lot of stuff to myself.
I do have a sketchbook. I don't religiously use a sketchbook because like my art is like very repetitive. So I just kind of draw like the same thing over and over. So every painting like looks slightly the same as I might change something different in the face, but I kind of just create the same art. So it's like muscle memory, so I don't really sketch a lot of things out. Unless it's something I haven't drawn before, then I'll like sketch it to like practice it. But yeah, I don't really use a sketchbook too much.
I think my sketchbook is mainly up here, but the problem with that is I tend to forget ideas. So also I've evolved with technology. So in high school, I used to get in trouble at school because I used to draw on everything, my quizzes, everything. But then when I went to university and I learned how to research and like to think about how I would like tell my story on canvas or wherever I'd be making it, then I would start writing. But I did have a sketchbook. I was consistent with sketchbook. But now I mix it all together. So I have a Pinterest, all of my Pinterest of like things that I like. So it's not necessarily something that I'm going to do that's exactly the same, but because I was explaining with this one that was inspired by my love for like the 70s and 60s vinyls, I like that type of thing, so I just save things that I like and then end up thinking about what I want to do or how I want to tell my story. So this is a sketchbook piece that came from my sketchbook. And so I've been trying to show more of my sketchbook work because that's where I kind of have a sense of like my fun side, because I have like 2 different channels of artistry. My very serious work, like I show like serious pieces of like my childhood or like my own personal stories. But when I'm sketching, it's just like, you know, the album covers. Like, how would I do an album cover for so-and-so, such and such? Or like, if I was an artist in the 70s, how would I create my work? But yeah, I rely on Pinterest, but I also have my notes in my notes on my phone. Like I have like maybe 5,000 by now of like different notes that I have. And it could be a sentence, and then I go to a different note, and it could be like a whole, you know, paragraphs and paragraphs of things that I'm writing. My future art, like I'm working on like what I would do for my solo show next, and it's about kintsugi. Kintsugi is like a pottery, but anytime a pottery breaks, they put it together with like gold. So anyway, so I'm more writing things out that I have visions of in my head, because the vision will stay there, but I write about it so I know how to keep the project consistent.
Yeah, me, I don't like sketching at all, like at all. I don't have a sketchbook, I don't sketch. If I want to start something, I'm gonna start it. Like I'm gonna start on the real thing. Like I don't like, that's not a diss to sketching, because sketching is a good, it's an action that improves your fundamentals on just different ways to create art. But I don't like sketching. Like I'm just gonna start, and that's it. It takes away time for me. Yeah, if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it, the real thing.
Okay, last question. Okay, anybody else?
I wanted to ask all of the artists, I often ask my son, KJ, who is also Joey Spacey, this question. Is there ever a time when you have a piece of art that came from the deepest within you, that it's hard to release it, or to sell it, or to get rid of it, because it came with some turmoil, or it was birthed out of something deep?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, we kind of have pieces that like you can't wait to get it back from like a show, cause it's like it might have been challenging. You might have went through like real emotions and experiences to even articulate that on canvas. So by the time I got a piece, I got back, I thought I was gonna cry when I finally got it, because like I hadn't seen it so long. The canvas size was the first big canvas I done. I actually drew out something on it, and you kind of live life. Like sometimes you don't immediately have a reason why you made something, and then after you show it on canvas, life kind of starts to show you why you communicated that in your work. So for me, like I said, that first big piece I did, which is like one of my favorites, it's hard for me to part with it, and it's kind of hard for me to show it in shows, because it's like this piece means so much to me. I would love to sell it, but also it's like, damn, that's a double-edged sword. Like, do I really want to part with this? So, yeah.
Yes, I do have pieces that mean a lot to me for a reason. Let me think. So all the pieces that are like my favorite to me, I have for a reason, because I don't want to sell them. So I price them at a super high price to where it's crazy, to where it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, everything is for sale, obviously, if the price is right. But I'm gonna price it super high to where, the price is right, you can have it. But I also create smaller prints of my artwork too. So if I don't want to sell the original, I'll have a poster of that print and sell it for cheaper. Like for instance, this one back here, I have smaller prints I sell for $30, but also of every other my arts too. But yeah, it's a tricky question. It's a tricky question. You want to say something?
My print game is trash, so I do stickers. So, for real, I don't know the print game. I need to like be a mentee to like one of my homies for that, because I don't know prints. But if it's hard for me, like if I really made a piece that I love, I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to make that again. I'll probably do stickers, or like keep like flipping that idea for like keychains or like other ways. Because I'm like, that took a lot out of me. I'm never going to be able to remake that. I'm not even sure I would want to remake that. But once you're done with it and you connected with it, it's like, do I, like him, I got to hit your head with this price. Because it's like, I don't even know if I want to come off this or not.
And I want, if it's a piece I really like, I want the owner to appreciate it as well. Like you have to be able to read when they're wanting to inquire a piece. So, it you have to like if they're asking a lot of questions and you know it's speaking to them, and then I'm willing to negotiate that price. Whatnot.
So I have like 2 pieces in the house that I refuse to get rid of. And they're 2 like totally different pieces. So one is called Pan. It's a Sambo hanging in like a claw machine, and I did it during the George Floyd protests. My dad's been trying to buy that piece for years, and I've turned him down every single time. I don't even put it in exhibits or like even show it often. It's like literally hanging up in my basement. And then the other piece, like I love cartoons, so Static Shock is my favorite my favorite superhero. And at BlurCon last year, I got Phil Lamar, the voice actor, to sign it, and it's like 5 feet tall and it's 4 foot wide. So it's not going anywhere. It's hung up in the basement in my studio. It's there forever, unless like somebody's like, yo, if I can get a new car from this, then maybe. But other than that, nah, it's gonna sit right in the studio.
So I'm pretty new at this. I actually haven't sold a lot of my artwork. And there's one piece that I made that's kind of like a recap of everything that I went through. And I did end up selling that one, but it was to my friend's dad, so like I can still go to his house and see it. So it's like, it's still there. So.
I have a lot of original artwork. I have like over 1,800 pieces. I have my own business, the Artism Gallery, and I be selling art throughout the DMV for almost a year and a half now. Started the business 2 years ago, so it has been a blessing, been a journey. And I know it's hard to sell original art pieces, but I know it would be in the good hands. And I mean, I have a lot of art, so I know it's going to be treated with care. But I also save a lot of artwork because some of it might be gallery worthy. Might go into like an actual gallery, for a bigger price. So I got like a couple 30 by 40 canvases. I have like amazing digital art. I have lots of photos of throughout everything in the DC area that people might like. Like one of my favorite ones is the Ben's Chili Bowl photo. I mean, because it's a historic landmark in DC, and like that my goal is try to give them that piece that they can hang it on their wall, knowing that this is a piece of history. This is with how people in DC grew up and loved, and how much of an impact that it had in people. So that's why it's good to sell art, but you always got to pick like which art is for sale and which art is not for sale, and you got to know, is it worth selling it or is it worth saving it? Because you want to cherish your art, but you got to think as an artist, like, do I really want to sell it or wait for the right opportunity?
For me, all of my art is really personal to me, and I base it off of things that I'm going through or things that I've felt either in the present or in the past. And it is hard to let go of them because of that, but at the same time, I want somebody to be able to connect with it too, and I know that there is someone who will connect with it because life is tough anyways, and we're all going through something, and yeah, it can be hard, and sometimes when I have one displayed somewhere, I'm like, I kind of hope this one doesn't sell because I want to get it back, but at the same time, I'm like, but if it's the right person, then it's meant to be, and they're meant to have it, and I'm okay with that.
So I feel like that about every piece that I create, but I mainly felt like that about the piece that's over there because it just resonated with me. and I was definitely ready for the show to be over so that I could take my piece back home.
Okay, and one last one.
I think I'm the last question, so I'm sorry. So I'm gonna keep it real simple. You gonna fight me for the question? It's a real, we can collaborate. It could be a two-part, because my question is real simple. So my question to all of you is as simple as, when did you fall in love with art and realize that, hey, I'm an artist and I wanna do this? And, make the jump, take the leap.
My question was actually along that line.
Okay.
Of, yes. It's, again, what, like, with me, I'll give you an example to add on to that. I make clothes, I make furniture, I do a lot of things, and it's hard for me to choose which one is special to me to really just do and let that stick out, so I don't dedicate myself to none of it.
We can start here and go around, or end at my man.
What's the question?
When did you fall in love with art? Making shoes? We can come back to
I think I fell in love with art once I decided that I wanted to do art shows. And I remember telling my mom last year that I wanted to start doing art shows. And about 2 weeks later, I got hit up to do an art show. And even when I was telling my mom is not an artsy type of girl, but she supports me. She's not here today, but she was here the first day. I remember telling her that I wanted to participate in Black Girls Art. That's a big art show for Black women. And that was just me talking to her. That was last year of April. Well, this year in March, I participated in Black Girls Art in Brooklyn. And that was like the best show ever. And I got the most love when it comes to our community. And I don't know. I just felt heavily inspired, that's all, and appreciated. Oh, can I add? And since my first art show, I've probably done over 10 art shows within the last year.
For me, a short preface, my life plan was completely different. I planned on, since I was a child, being a doctor and going to med school and the whole nine. And then once I started college, and I was already really stressed because I was becoming, for whatever reason, unsure of that path for me. I was in college. I dropped all of my classes and changed my major to be undecided because I had no idea anymore. And that's when I started painting. And I realized that's the one thing that really brings me the most joy and makes me feel the most at peace. So that's the moment that I fell in love with painting. So, I mean, it took a little bit of time, but that was about 2018-ish. So, yeah.
Hey again. I think I fell in love, or I really started taking my talent serious during COVID. I guess a lot of people had downtime to, figure things out and what your purpose is. So, of course, I like to sell my art, gotta make a living from it, or, but I really fell in love with people falling in love with it. I feel like it's my way of giving back to the world. I'm very colorful. All of my pieces are really colorful. I love color. So, so that's when I fell in love with it.
I fell in love with art, going back, from in DC. Like, DC is like the center of all arts. You got, the theaters, you got the street art, you got all the street talent out there is so impactful, and it just inspired me to just become a artist and just trying to be like, be part of that community, be part of that culture. And it just helps me inspire just to create something so original, something that people never seen before, and just bring people into my journey, into my world of how I see art in a mixed color perspective, and just like feel like it's empowering to just know that there's an artist who can really change lives by a stroke or a piece of drawing or a dance or one photo, and then it just opens up the door to so much more, and art has really inspired me to become a better person and a better artist, and just knowing that I know what I'm fighting for.
I fell in love with art when I was 9. That's when I started painting and drawing. I had a really wild imagination, and I stuck with it ever since. Like, I still have a really wild imagination, and I love art because you can create whatever you want. It doesn't have to make sense. It could be like really crazy. And my art now, sometimes it has meaning, and sometimes it's just because I felt like it.
For me, it was probably around, I knew I wanted to do art when I painted my car. In like 2013, it was like a 97 two-door Chevy Blazer. I love that car to death. Her name was Shadow. Beautiful, it was a beautiful car. I destroyed it. But when I got that real confirmation, like I said, I started off painting sneakers. Me and my wife were in a 1-bedroom apartment in Mount Rainier with my oldest. She was like 6 months old, and I'm like in the living room painting sneakers, and she was like, "You should do this for people." And that was kind of the confirmation I needed. So I always credit like just my passion or my ability to step out there to my wife. She's like my biggest inspiration to just keep pushing and keep creating. So that was around like 2017.
Yeah, I think I've like always loved art, but I'm like another one of those like COVID artists that just started like painting, because like I used to like collect a lot of like art supplies and like kind of hoard them, and like I'll get around to it eventually. And so yeah, I feel like I really just like locked in and like started painting during COVID, but before that I was like a creative entrepreneur, so I was already like kind of drawing just on small surfaces. So just like taking the time to like learn to like scale my art and stuff. So yeah, but I feel like I've always like been an artist.
COVID, I definitely fell in love with art because I was like working at like galleries in the DMV. Even though I grew up in like a creative household, like I was, my sister baked, my dad does everything he said he does, and my mom writes, and graphic design. After doing like tagging was kind of like always like around, but COVID we all had downtime, so started trying to figure out how to express myself, and you couple that with like liking the hustle. So like yeah, like stickers, like doing like fundraising for like I'm trying to get kids to read, so I'm making bookmarkers and stuff like that. So just always trying to figure out how to hustle your ideas, but like keep it positive. So 2019 was pretty much where everything came full circle for me. And then 2 years ago, I taught myself how to draw, and we've been doing art shows ever since. So, yeah.
This is always a hard question for me because I'm someone who believes that art is everywhere and everything. But by day, I'm an art teacher, and I come from a family of educators. So types of educators that kind of were other things. So my grandfather, my mother married into a family when I moved here. I moved here in 1999. But I left home, I was very creative at home, but I fell in love, I think, here because it was embraced more. Because in Africa, even if we're creative, you're either a doctor or a lawyer. So coming here and the family that my mother married into, they had the school, which was pretty much like an African-centered version of Duke Ellington. So if you're learning about anything, we learn through song, we learn through dance, we learn through music. And so I kind of embraced and loved being in the space of creativity. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be an artist. So ever since I was a kid, I knew that I was gonna do something with the arts. But also because my family was educators, they're like, okay, so what's plan B? I was like, I can't give you a plan B, but I can be an art teacher. Because, you know, if it doesn't work out, I have something to fall back on, but I do both. So I'm very grateful that I did have, you know, family members that kind of supported my dreams and goals. But I fell in love with it here when I moved to the States.
Yeah, for me, I wanted to say when I fell in love with being a visual creator, I would like to say my majority of my family is pretty creative in their own ways, but I would say fell in love with being an artist. I prefer the word creator, but I guess anything that's done with elegance is an art, anything. But I guess it was when college was pissing me off. I was like, I'm done with this. And my mom hates to hear that, but oh well. But yeah, as soon as I stopped going, I had like a super creative spark. And yeah, I just went crazy. And I kept going, then that's when I started to apply to art festivals back home. So art festivals, I would do like 3-day, 2-day weekends of just strictly art festivals. And I'm like, it's actually real money in this if I stay consistent. And not only that, the people I would meet, like one time, this one lady, I actually sold a couple pieces to her, but she actually cried. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, she cried. So I'm like, it has to mean something. And I feel like it's always been to me. Just be able to create anything, like problem solving, just doesn't matter. So it's always been within me. I don't think there was like a specific time to where I'm like, it was a strong love. It's just always been within. And that's it.
All right. So I fell in love with art maybe around the age of 8. My mother put me in a class. And so it was the first time that I was able to do art that was more than just like, you know, you have crayons at home and you're, you know, coloring on a piece of paper or, you know, coloring in the lines on a coloring book. So this was like, they were actually teaching us, you know, the proper way to gesso a canvas or, you know, other techniques. And so that kind of opened my eyes to like, oh, there's much more than just what I've learned so far as an 8-year-old. And so from there, it was like, that was the thing that I just connected with the most, more than any other, you know, after school thing. So it was really my mother putting me in that class that did it for me.
This is actually completely off topic, but now we're getting close to ending. If you would like to support, I did bring art prints of a lot of my work. I sell them for $30, 2 for $50. If you come over there, we can have a conversation. If you have any questions, if you don't want to buy, that's still fine. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Appreciate it.
I too have an announcement. As days come to an end, as you like I pointed out earlier, I make my Geo toys in the back, but I also host a paint and sip called Butter and Brushes with my own bears that I manufacture myself. So if you're interested, you can just meet me, or we could talk afterwards, and I can send you all the link. It's going to be July 19th here at Station 3510. So if you're interested in making your own custom luxury toy, please reach out. Really excited to meet with you all.
All right, so there's a couple artists on the stage that are gonna be, and in front of the stage that are gonna be at a couple upcoming shows. Watch out on Instagram, The Homie Art Show. Butta know is gonna be a part of that, couple people. And also Tell a Friend to Tell a Friend show. It's gonna be July 5th and July 12th. I do exhibit, but I'm also starting to curate group shows because we really get along, and the contemporary space has a lot of talent. We are very instrumental about being the new wave and not really being the ones who are asking for permission in this space. And we're very intentional about how we speak, how we present ourselves, and how we are professional, but also doing it with some swag. So Tell a Friend to Tell a Friend and The Homie Art Show. Yeah.
I also have prints for sale. And I just wanted to say thank you, Jared, for, allowing us this beautiful space. Thank you guys for coming out to support. And thank you to the artists. I think I follow all of you guys. You guys are very inspirational to me. And to that question, when you have creator's block or artist block, sometimes I just stroll on Instagram and I can look at Joe page or I could look at Tom page and I get inspired. So this is what inspires me.